Hello there! The main reason that negative emotions have received more scientific attention up until recently is because they are essential to our functioning from a survival, existential, evolutionary perspective. Negative emotions protect us from dangers and various threats in our environment. They trigger us to react, primarily in the familiar reaction formations of fight, flight, or freeze. Negative emotions, such as, for example, fear, sadness, or anger, constitute our first line of defense against external threats. Fear, for example, often warns us about an impending danger. Sadness is usually a sign that there is a threat of loss. Emotions, therefore, consist of emotional, sensory, cognitive, and behavioral components. Part of the powerful effect that emotions have on us lies in their ability to direct us to pay selective attention to the stimuli around us and to prefer stimuli that indicate either difficulties and problems or joy and positivity. Another significant way in which our emotions guide behavior and data processing is through utilizing tendencies called thought-action tendencies. When feeling negative emotions, we are more prone to thought action that is narrow, specific, and focused on the threatening factor in order to cope with it successfully. Negative emotions can be beneficial for us. They're important for our functioning. And it's important to allow ourselves to experience them as part of the wide spectrum of what it means to be human. But they're only a part of the picture. Are positive emotions merely the absence of negative emotions, or do they have a unique role of their own? Recently, especially following the work of Professor Barbara Fredrickson, a growing understanding has developed that positive emotions have a unique and complementary role which goes well beyond the pleasant feeling that they elicit. If you will, beyond the idea that it's good to feel good. According to Fredrickson's Broaden and Build model, positive emotions too have a massive evolutionary role. The first term in her Broaden and Build model refers to broadening. Positive emotions broaden and expand our range of resources as well as our intellectual, physical, and social capabilities. Whereas negative emotions focus and narrow our attention to a particular difficulty or threat, positive emotions expand our thought-action tendency and we are much more open to more diverse possibilities. Positive emotions broaden our mind and consciousness and boost our flexibility and creativity. With them, we're essentially more open to new ideas and experiences. As Fredrickson puts it, positive emotions not only indicate mental health, but also contribute to it. They facilitate an ascending, self-maintaining spiral, hence the term building. Positive emotions is not the end of the process or an indication of the end of the process, but rather a means for achieving mental growth and long-term well-being. When we experience positive emotions, we are creative and able to see more possibilities and opportunities. We are more open to relationships with others and are better at processing cognitive information. Studies show that positive emotions are associated with a broader way of thinking, more flexibility, creativity, better integration abilities, openness to information, and efficiency in coping and problem solving, as well as enhanced productivity. In fact, our emotions are a kind of a GPS, a navigation and guidance system, or an internal compass, which helps us adjust ourselves and our behavior in various situations in life. They color what we see and what's present in the world, the manner in which we treat others, and the manner in which they react to us. In other words, they color our entire experience in either bright or gloomy colors. Here are a couple of examples of studies showing this. Imagine that you are taking part in an experiment and you are given a task that requires you to find creative solutions that only few manage to find. It appears that if prior to receiving this task, the researchers evoke positive emotions by, for example, giving you candy, or through funny comic strips or video clips, or by asking you to read positive words in a theatrical way, a certain level of positive emotions is generated. These positive emotions were found to improve the chances of you being creative in completing the task and solving it in comparison to individuals for whom a positive emotion had not been evoked. The same intellectual improvement also occurs with young children. In one experiment, 2 groups of 4-year-olds were asked to dedicate 30 seconds to remembering something that made you so happy that you wanted to jump for joy, or to recall something that made you so happy that you wanted to sit and smile. All the children were then given a learning assignment on shapes, and both groups were more successful than the groups that were given neutral instructions. This is, by the way, a great idea to apply at home and in the classroom, to make tangible mementos from fun and enjoyable experiences that children experience in a notebook or on the classroom wall. On the other end of the spectrum, it was found that physicians who experienced positive emotions more accurately diagnosed their patients' diseases. These and many other studies offer a fascinating opportunity that has important implications for education. A positive emotion propels us toward a completely different way of thinking and behaving than that of a negative emotion. Although important to our functioning, negative emotions predominantly push us to react through a militant or defensive thinking pattern, fight or flight. We seek the negative in order to get rid of it. A positive emotion, on the other hand, triggers us to activate a more creative, generous, flexible, constructive, and broad thinking pattern. Beyond the cognitive, intellectual, and emotional aspect, comprehensive and long-term studies have found that positive emotions also predict physical health and longevity. One of the famous examples to this is the nuns study. It's important to understand that there's enormous advantage to a study conducted on this population due to the similar conditions in terms of their lifestyle and environment. For instance, they consume the same food, follow the same habits, have similar values, the same number of prayers, and so forth. In this study, nuns were asked to write a short autobiography about their life before entering the monastery. The researchers analyzed the texts by the number of emotions and the positive, negative, and neutral sentences they used. The study was a longitudinal study and examined over 60 years the life expectancy of the nuns in relation to their written autobiographies. It was found that nuns who had expressed more positive emotions lived significantly longer, sometimes more than 10 years, than those who expressed fewer positive emotions. In other words, positive emotional content was positively and strongly associated with longevity 60 years later. Other interesting longitudinal studies in this respect addressed the expression of a positive emotion like a smile in high school yearbooks. For instance, a study held at UC Berkeley analyzed the yearbook with people's photographs according to their facial expressions and compared them with data collected about them over 30 years. It found that the people who expressed more joy in the photos taken at the age of 21 enjoyed better health, happier marriages, and expressed more overall contentment in their lives. According to the researchers, a warm smile entails a high probability of the person being invested and interested in others, and generally feeling good about life. When I speak of a smile, I mean a smile that expresses positive emotions, which is called a Duchenne smile, named after the neurologist who first studied it. Such a smile involves the corner of our eyes, our cheekbones, and we feel that it comes from the bottom of the heart, as opposed to a smile that feels fake to us, solely from the lips, and which does not necessarily indicate positive emotions. Positive emotions were also found to protect people from the ills of age, and they also characterize lower blood pressure and a stronger immune system. The next sentence indicates something from the study's findings. We do not stop playing and laughing because we grow older. We grow older because we stop playing and laughing. In addition to physical resources, positive emotions were found to also enable the construction of social resources, such as empathy, creating connections, generosity, caring, emotional expression, curiosity, and joy. Another effect of positive emotions is that they are buffers for the effects of negative emotions. This is called the undoing effects of positive emotions. Studies show that people who experience positive emotions are better able to cope adaptively and recover more rapidly in states of physical and emotional stress. Deliberately experiencing positive emotions was found as long-term fuel for psychological health and resilience. Furthermore, in a study that examined the idea of the undoing effect of positive emotions, suggests that nurturing positive emotions constitutes a highly effective strategy for buffering and mending the lasting physical effects of negative emotions. It was found, for example, that positive emotions enable symptom relief of depression and negate the ongoing effects of negative emotions on the cardiovascular system, which is particularly sensitive to accumulating states of stress. To sum up, it is evident that positive emotions, among them happiness, joy, and enjoyment, have a significant effect on our ability to thrive and to succeed in many aspects of our life, including learning. Thank you.